Welcome, sentient beings from all known universes and beyond. It's time to activate your cranial downlinks and prepare to receive a raft of discussion on a cosmic ocean of science fiction and fantasy topics, interviews with local area genre devotees, and insightful prognostication by our soothsayers of science fiction, our forecasters of fantasy, and any other beings that happen to get caught in our gravity well. This is the Galactic Driftwood Podcast.
Hello, Drifters, and welcome to, this is like how I slipped that right in again. I'm sticking with it.
I'm sticking with it. Okay. All right.
And welcome to another episode of the Galactic Driftwood Podcast. I'm Bill.
I'm Linda.
I'm Seth.
I'm Jenna.
And I'm Chris.
And Chris, why don't you tell our lovely viewers what we're going to be talking about today?
Yeah. As Linda brought up, I went to Anime Nebraskon, NebCon, the other week. It was hosted, as you could see there, a couple weeks ago at the Mid-America Center in Council Bluffs. And it was a really great time. I do want to start by saying, thanks to the press team over there at NebCon for getting us a couple of press passes to stop by there and kind of cover the event. We didn't have as many people as we probably would have liked. We were, maybe hoping to do a stream there or something and do the availability. We kind of just had to make something work. And so I was able to get out there for a couple days and grab some photos of various ongoings at the event. And we'll be talking a little bit about that today. So, it was a 3-day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday event. Probably the most notable thing there are, the vendors that come there to sell their art and videos and other ongoings that you'd find at most cons. So you have this vendor arena there. And then you also have a cosplay contest. So I grabbed some photos of all these various different things there. Not too much on the vendor floor. Obviously, some things maybe licensed or whatnot. So tried to avoid a lot there. But I did do some shopping while I was there. So I have a little bit of show and tell, as well as some of the type of art, things you can find in a couple websites that I can share as well. So, let me share my screen here, and we'll go through some of these screenshots to start, I think. Present. Here we go.
And here we
go. Okay, so let me see if I can make that any little bigger at all.
Was there an Anime Nebraskon last year, or is this?
There was.
Okay. Okay.
So last year is when they first kind of started up, and I think they only had maybe 4,000 or 5,000 attendees.
Wow.
I will share that they broke a record this year, and they ended up with let me see here, what's right here, 7,000 attendees.
Oh my God!
And they even posted about it. Sorry for the scrolling. It's like right here. I just had it, and every time the page refreshes, it goes away. Here, thank you to attendee number 7,000.
Oh my gosh!
Huh.
So
that's great.
I have to thank the press team again, because when I got there on Saturday, the line was way out the door. And Becky, one of the members there that reached out to us and asked if we could come and cover some of the event, got me right through the line into the front so I could get a press pass. So was able to get in and start coverage right away without standing in line. Those poor souls. So there was a few hundred people in line by the time I got there. So, but things were rolling right along. And this lucky individual showed up and ended up being lucky number 7,000. So it was a big event. They had a lot of people there, and it was a fun time. So again, we'll jump back to some of the photos here. this is kind of the main center arena at Mid-America Center. It's where the vendors typically set up, whether you're doing Anime Nebraskon or even Comic-Con or any other kind of con that's hosted there. The vendor area really was amazing this year, and I want to call that out, and it is one of the highlights they want us to talk about. The art has improved so much in terms of the quality, the types of images and things that they have there. A few years ago, it was a lot of Funko Pops and things, right? There's a lot of things you could buy. This felt more like 60-70%. Everyone had their own kind of art to display and bring there. So we brought a lot of pictures and things of that nature. Gina, while we were there, picked up a lot of Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit art. I don't know if you kind of see that.
That's neat.
And so we'll be getting these things framed. A lot of people had different takes on how to draw these things out, and it was fun. They had let me go forward here. Oh, we'll jump into that here in a second. I have another photo kind of showing how big that area is. Here we go.
Wow.
That is good size.
Cool. Yeah, it's a good size. And this picture obviously doesn't do it any justice. The upper right is kind of where they have guest speakers or people that maybe have played voice actors in animes or video games and things like that. So they do the typical meet and greets. That wasn't the hugest part for me, and scheduling wise, just didn't work out to get there when they would be there. And wasn't a huge interest to a lot of that. But you'll notice that there's a lot of art out there.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the big thing this year. And typically, I would see some and it all kind of looked the same. And I felt like there's a lot more uniqueness between the artists and what they were selling this year. And not only that, but like the high quality. We're talking the image resolution and clarity was much, much better. One trend I did notice, which was kind of humorous, is a lot more half-naked women. All over the place. That seemed to be
so you're saying even if somebody isn't into anime, there's something there for them.
Yes,
Wow.
Well, not actual, women. It's all animated and hand-drawn women or whatever. But
okay. I thought you were talking about the con attendees.
No, not the. Well, okay. I mean, there's that too. Not as much, but there's always a con attendee that's barely dressed, and there's a little bit of that. But no, from an art perspective, at one point, this back wall here, when you turn the corner and look at it, it was like nothing but breasts and bikinis. It was just.
Well, we have been on lockdown.
The promise.
Yeah. So that part was interesting. So not only did the art get better, but there was definitely a lot more of that. But it was good. It was there's another artist there that we actually bought some stuff that we're waiting for that did shadow boxes. Had some really unique artistry work called Subconscious Realms. And this person had a lot of amazing art.
Wow.
And so lots of different themes for things down to video games, to different world depictions. If you go to their Etsy store, they have a lot of different types of shadow boxes that they have, which are all very, very cool.
Wow.
So this is actually layered. It's not a flat image. As you go up and down, there's different layers that you can see. The pictures don't do it justice, but Gina and I actually ordered a couple of these shadow boxes to check out. I got one that was Final Fantasy VII, which had all the different areas from Midgard to, everywhere in there. And Gina got one that was for Lord of the Rings and all the different areas and realms within that. So it was very, very cool. And that was the kind of next level of artistry that I saw there. There was just so much cool things that people were making. And you had your typical Blu-rays and things like that. Speaking of that, now that this is done, because I could talk about anime, so I was talking about Anime Nebraskon, I did buy an entire set of Dragon Ball Super because that series is done now, and they actually had a really good deal. It was about 5 or 10% off of what the online price was when it was on sale. So I went ahead and picked that up, and they've got a little bit of everything out there. So this is one of the metal box sets for Dragon Ball Super.
Wow.
So it comes in a metal frame. It's got all the Blu-ray discs. It's like a collector's edition kind of thing. So there's a broad range of things that you can purchase there. It's not just art. It's things too.
So did you
see a lot of unique items like that, or at least better deals like that you could buy locally when it?
No, it was kind of hit or miss. So one of the vendors was very. There was a unique one there that had a lot of older, original, like OG animes. Your Gundam Wings and your what's it called, like Ronin Warriors and some other older ones. A lot of they specialize in like your 1970s, 80s, early gen animes. They had a lot of Blu-rays for that. So if you went digging through their big list of, or their big table of stuff, you could find some old gems in there that you might like. But of course, because those are harder to find, and they're kind of almost, I won't say collectibles, but that price actually wasn't inexpensive. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
Some of your more mainstream stuff was on sale, but some of these older things that you wouldn't find in most video stores or whatever, the price wasn't necessarily cheap. But as you get to Sunday, I will say that's probably the best day to buy. On Sunday, they're trying to clear inventory, so you'll get, buy 2 or 3 and save 20, 30, 50% or something like that. So
would you say the prices overall were pretty good there, though?
Yeah, I'd say the prices overall are pretty good. I spent enough to where one of my cards started getting declined. So we were definitely doing a lot of shopping. That one of the main attractions, I will say for Anime Nebraskon is the vendors. We spent a lot of time walking through and checking that out, and I wanted to stress that, absolutely make the time to go through there. If you're looking for something that might be harder to find or there might be limited quantities of, you want to go Friday. You want to get that before the crowds have had time to go through. Saturday's probably a good chance. By Sunday, it can get down to slim pickings. If you're looking for niche stuff, but usually the vendors have a lot. And then on Sunday, if you only happen to make it that last day, make sure you get there early, because some of the vendors turn in before the con's like fully over. So it's one of those things, the sooner you get to it, the better. But definitely spend a couple of days going through there.
Yeah, and in some rare instances, don't ask for this, but do keep your eye open. Like Sunday is the day when vendors will try and lower their prices to not ship some of their stuff back. So,
Yep. So and that's the best pricing I noticed was Sunday going through.
Yeah,
so.
You won't have as good a choice at stuff, but you could pick up some really good deals.
Yeah. So for sure, it's a great place to get some shopping in that you wouldn't otherwise get at a lot of other places. And I found the prices to be fine. Like I said, you can get into some niche collectible stuff, and the pricing is going to be pretty much what you'd expect. You're not going to get maybe huge discounts. It really just depends. There were some people that were doing, free shipping on items they don't necessarily have in stock there. But if you're at NebCon, you get a special discount kind of stuff. So it's not an event where things are marked up. Everything, in my opinion, was, at a very fair price. If not, I would have paid you more for this kind of stuff. So that was very awesome to see. Going back to some of the other things that were going on there, let me pull up some more stuff to share.
Well, and while you're doing that, Chris, so if obviously this is a con that's for people that are into anime, but if you're not really into anime, or maybe you just have seen a little bit of it, would it be worthwhile to go there as well?
Yeah, I would argue it's not just it's Anime Nebraskon, but if you're into Comic Cons or cosplay or even board games, if you could bring my screen up the front, I've got a schedule here. It's a full pack schedule of different panels and everything like that they have, from video games to just anything you want to kind of learn as well. A lot of it does center around anime, but they even had, if you're into D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, they had a session where a few guys were talking about, Dungeon Masters do's and don'ts kind of stuff. So there's a lot that's pretty interesting there. If you're into burlesque shows, I think it was late Friday night, they had a small burlesque kind of show gathering there, which was pretty cool. I missed it, but say again, Jenna.
I think it was cosplay themed, because I know.
Yeah, it was a cosplay, like. So but they had a thing for that, and they try to appeal to a broader sense of audiences. So you don't have to like anime to go. There's definitely plenty to do there, at least for a day, particularly Saturday, where you can enjoy it. And so that was kind of, this is Friday's schedule. As you go into Saturday, same kind of jam-packed schedule with a bunch of different panels all over the place covering different things. Or if you're into video games, GoldenEye tournament, Mario Kart tournaments, I'll show some pictures of that as well. And then going into Sunday's really the lighter days. So if you have some catch up to do, I personally didn't find too many panels of interest on that day. If you want to get in some board games or video games, or even some shopping, Sunday might be where you spend most of your vendor time. If you didn't have anything in particular you were trying to get that might be limited in quantity. So that was the full schedule. I went to a few of the panels. This particular one here covered the history of, I think it was Macross, and the different types of seasons and things they have like that. So this guy was kind of like a specialist in that area and spoke a lot about that. This room here was one of the larger panel rooms. They do a lot of different types of events, from hosting up at the front of the room where you can kind of see the chairs are facing. Then back here at the back is where they actually had kind of like this human chess type game playing going on. This particular time here where I showed up, so that's my twin sister. When she goes, she really likes the Japanese style of outfits and everything like that. So she's got all these cool kimonos that are
Pretty.
Not cheap at all. She's got some really nice ones. This is one of her newer ones. But here they were doing. I wish I had edited in what the panel, what the course was, but the cool little fans that you can get. This was kind of like a self-defense training type class for that. So as everyone kind of gathered here, there was an instructor here teaching them different forms and things like that you can do with the fan, how to properly open it with a certain kind of snap feeling and things of that nature.
Flare.
So here they are kind of going through it, practicing it. And then as we keep going, you'll start seeing where they start learning different types of moves and formations.
Cool.
Which was pretty cool.
That is really cool.
So fans
Love
with
it.
fans.
Yep. And it's really cool. So when they're doing it kind of in unison, they go to a certain pose and then everyone flips it open at once and it's really loud. Kind of you hear this big pop as all the fans open. So It's pretty cool when you do it in unison. This is another one of the panels. That first one I showed earlier didn't look like a full room. I wanted to talk about, some of the panels. It's kind of good to get there early, not necessarily late. So pay attention to the schedules when you're running around. Some of the areas end up being like, sitting on the floor or standing in the corner, because it does get pretty jam-packed in there. So the rooms can get pretty full. I think this one was the D&D session with these hosts. So this was a pretty full one. A lot of people were really interested in that. This one looks like, don't railroad, your party and things like that, having a set goal. Seth, you probably would have been very interested in that as well as you, Bill. So there were some pretty interesting things in there.
Yeah, my slide there would have been don't railroad. It's impossible to control them anyway.
Yeah. I mean, and they engage with the, it's not just people reading PowerPoints. There are people that give feedback in the crowd as well that also are interested in a lot of the topics. So there's back and forth. Here's kind of prior to the cosplay contest event. You can start to see where people are gathering in the hallway, getting in line and getting ready to go in. I'd like to, here's a Thor. I've seen this guy around pretty regularly, actually snuck in a picture on my way across the complex there.
So is this at the Mid-America Center?
Yeah, it's at the Mid-America Center.
Okay.
So one of the cool things they did is up on the second floor, they had I apologize to forget the name of the gaming sponsor, but they showed up and had tables set up for everyone to be able to play board games.
Nice.
So
Cool.
it was a crap ton of tables, as you see here. It goes all the way around the arena on the second floor.
Wow.
Now, did they have games for people?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
And so here's
You
a
didn't have
huge
to bring
collection
your
of
own.
games that they had. They brought a bunch of
Nice.
shelving in, and they had all these games you can kind of
That's
come in and
great.
choose from. And yeah, it was great. So I thought that was pretty awesome of them to do. So again, if you're not into anime, you can come for the gaming, the board
Yeah.
gaming, and either meet people or maybe come with your friends, check that out, catch a couple events or panels that you're interested in. You can find a full day's worth of activity here to do things. Here's
Wow.
another look at the floor, which I showed earlier. Now on the third floor, you take these elevators up, and they had a video game area. This one I would like to see expanded a little bit, maybe next year. It wasn't a decent sized room, but you could tell that there was definitely a lot of interest to where it was always full whenever I'd make my rounds and come through here. So they had Smash Brothers, Tekken, Mario Kart. They even had scheduled tournaments so people can come in and play against each other, which was pretty cool. But they set up a lot of these stations here, and it wasn't just console gaming either. Here you've got some individual ones for some smaller games or maybe one-player games. So if you wanted to just come by and play some video games, they also had some dancing games in front of I think that's like an Xbox Connect. So we can see you while you're dancing and kind of rate you as you go. That was pretty cool. They even went so far as to have a VR setup as well there. So if you wanted to try that out, you could get some time in to do that. And I thought that was pretty awesome. Yeah, so that's what this particular game was, a Beat Saber. So it plays a song, and these cubes come at you, and
Yes.
there's an instructional thing, but yeah, you kind of
No, if you ever want to play it, we can play that on Aaron's Oculus. He's got that.
Oh yeah.
duly noted.
Yeah.
I haven't
You
played
like
it
it
yet.
now?
I have seen a lot of it though. So, but yeah, so this was another area of Anime Nebraskon that you could enjoy if you were there, and I thought it was pretty cool. Here's just some shots of while I was out and taking a quick break of some of the costumes running by. This is where they had their cosplay contest. So I have a few things we can run through here as well. Again, thanks to the press team for getting me in, because there was a huge line, and this whole place filled up. Unfortunately, we're about maybe an hour late to getting started with things, and as this contest keeps growing, they're running into time challenges and things like that.
You see that, I think, at a lot of events where the cosplay just tends to, just because of all I think preparation involved, and
there's a lot of
everybody lined up.
preparations. They have skits that can be done when they get to the actual thing. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to stay to the very end. So because it ran late, I only had so much time before I had some other obligations. So I was only able to stay for maybe an hour and a half.
Sure.
And it was an hour late, so I only caught a good section at the beginning. I do have some more photos that are coming. As I said, my sister was helping out with that as well, and she has some pictures she needs to send. But this kind of gives you the scope of how big that area was and how many seats there were. All of those chairs filled up, and then they had people sitting on the left that went all the way back. So there was way more people here to show up to attend the event than they even had chairs for. So this is kind of the stage setup that they had. Here it is. This starts to fill in. They had people kind of guiding down, filling up the rows. And as we got going, as you can see here, it's full. At this point, they started lining everybody up on the left there to sit, and they were maybe stacked 10 wide, and then it went all the way to the back. So it was pretty huge. So here's some of the awards that they had available for the contestants that came in. A lot of different things were taken into account. I'm sure the judge's job was very difficult. They have to go through. There's some really, really great cosplay costumes in there. So,
any idea how many competitors there were in the contest?
I thought there was more than what I saw in a post, but I'm not sure who was just going through as a show and who was actually doing a competition. There was a difference, I think, between the two. But we'll circle back on that.
Okay.
So here are the MCs that they had. They did a pretty good job rolling with the punches. They had some technical difficulties, and they did, I think, an okay job kind of picking up some comedy and stalling for time. they had a tablet that they were using to kind of go through the contestants that had their names and everything. And the tablet kept losing its Wi-Fi connection or whatever, and so then they'd lose all their data and just kind of have to figure that out. So, but here are some of the outfits that I'll go through here, and you can see to what extent some of these people go through, which is pretty cool.
Ooh.
Some have good poses. There's Duo Maxwell.
Oh my god, that
Gundam Wing.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh,
Nice.
My
Full
Hero
Metal
Academia.
Alchemist. Or is it
No,
My
that's-
Hero? Full Metal, right?
That's Full
Oh.
Metal.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's
Full
what I
Metal.
meant.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry.
And I'm not going to know if you're a cosplayer. I'm not going to remember all of these. There were so many. But if you happen to see yourself on here, feel free to comment on who you were.
These are great.
Yeah.
Oh my god, look at
Wow.
that
Look at
man.
that.
Yeah, it was a pretty incredible show. These,
Holy
there's not enough
shit.
credit that goes into a lot of the costumes that are made and the efforts that goes through, even down to making the wings. I was talking to my sister about it, and she said one thing she noticed is the quality of the wings that people have. There's been so many new ways to make them and make them more realistic or movable and stuff like that.
Wow.
So, yeah. And we will come back to something at the end of this as far as the cosplay and how that ultimately went down. There were some trials and some issues with that, and a statement was put out actually this morning on it, and we'll circle back to that. But I did want to kind of preview before we jump into that what was going on. So yeah, really
These
great
were amazing.
outfits.
Amazing
Yep.
costumes. Wow.
Was there original costumes too that you saw? I know you couldn't stay for the whole thing, but it looks like there was kind of a mix.
I'm
Maybe
sure.
of
Yeah, I'm sure there were some. Obviously, the more popular ones are ones going to be based off the animes that people know and things like that. There was some definitely original costumes out there. I couldn't point them all out because I also haven't seen every anime there is on Earth. So
Are you sure?
Slacker.
yeah, I've been slacking apparently.
Yeah.
So,
There's so many animes that come out every season, and I never get to see everyone that I want to see.
Wow. These are just, this is Nebraska.
Oh, there's
This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
Halo.
good. This is
Look
really
at that
good.
Master Chief.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's awesome.
I'm impressed.
I like this
Ooh,
one.
someone came as Samurai Yojimbo.
Awesome.
This is a newer anime, Chainsaw Guy or
Chainsaw
whatever.
Man.
Yeah, Chainsaw Man. This is a newer one. This one was probably one of the more popular ones that was out there,
There-
for
yeah.
sure.
There's
It
a
looks like
lot of
about as
hype around
dangerous
that
a weapon
show.
to the user as it is to his target.
Right.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
There is a ton of hype around that show.
There is. It's on my to-do with everything else that we've got to watch. But yeah, that one's been hugely popular.
Huh.
Jeez, look at that.
This one was awesome. So this was
Holy
from
shit.
the more recent. No crap.
Jinx from Arcane.
Arcane, yes, from League of Legends. That machine gun actually rotates like a real one.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, so it's blurred here, obviously, and I was trying to get video of it, but it was too dark and the camera wasn't adjusting quick enough. But that actually rotates. So when they
Wow.
were pulling the trigger, it was rotating as if it was going through rounds. It was pretty cool.
Huh.
And this is also from the same Arcane, the main bad guy, if you will.
Oh wow, yeah. That is really good.
Inuyasha.
Nice. Respect the classics.
Yep. Sailor
A lot of
Moon.
Sailor Moon, of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can't have an anime convention without Sailor Moon.
Yep.
Nope.
Can't really have anime without Sailor Moon.
These three are all the same character, and I forget the name of the character, but they're doing the Spider-Man you.
Is that Hatsune Miku?
Maybe
I don't know. There's a lot of blue hair in anime, so
there is. So, but these are all supposed to be basically the same, different portrayals of the same character. So,
You got some fantastic pictures here.
Yeah.
dang.
they gave me a. So
All
this
right, go
one was
back.
very cool too. This
Go
thing
back.
glows in the freaking dark.
Oh, wow.
So she's walking around without the light. It's glowing bright red. It was pretty awesome.
Nice.
Huh.
That's from a series called Gate.
Gate. That's what that one was.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and it's basically Japanese military propaganda.
Oh, wow.
Really?
It's a fun show, but like you're looking at it, and then you also remember all the American shows you see that are kind of the same, and you're like, oh, those are all propaganda. Oh, okay.
Huh.
Wow.
The
Oh,
Joker
wow.
guy did do the full out walk from the film, which was great. He did a really great job of that.
nice Boba Fett.
Yep.
Ruby.
So this was when I had to leave. You'll see on the right there's a bunch of people sitting on the floor.
Oh,
It was a
yeah.
jam-packed, full house. Really awesome time. And I think I have a couple more pictures here. This T-Rex was running around, and it looked absolutely hilarious. This is another one of the sessions, one of the panels that they had. This one was going over all the different mechs, and these guys were nerding out over this. Okay, we're talking about all different types of mechs, generations, what their land speeds are, which one might be more powerful than the others, down to like, what kind of thrusters they maybe had in them, and what kind of technological advances were maybe at the time that would have been used for it. So this was another one. Go ahead, Seth.
It's the Starship panel that they have at every sci-fi convention, but for mechs.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So there's a little bit of something for everybody.
Argue about where we nerds will argue endlessly over whether the Millennium Falcon can take a Star Destroyer or not.
Yeah.
Could take the Enterprise.
So this one was very interesting. This one was kind of like a costume making materials class, not a class, but panel. And they actually had a lot of the different cool sewing machines and different unique tools that are used in making some of the costumes. So this was one of the more popular ones as well, which was pretty cool. And this is just another look at the convention floor while I was there. This is one of the panelists that was there that was actually a voice actor in maybe it's Genshin Impact, maybe a newer character that's there. I can't remember, but she would speak randomly in the voice of the character that she's voice acting, and it would completely throw me off. So this was really great to sit down on for a little bit. And lastly, I will touch on, there was a little bit of issues with scheduling and the timing of it, and there was a release, I guess, this morning. I haven't finished going through it yet, but Anime Nebraskon, there was a lot of issues and drama around how the cosplay contest was handled, the timing of it, and everything like that. This isn't a knock on Anime Nebraskon at all. I just wanted to, to put it out there that they have responded to the community, and they're collecting feedback, and they list out everything that kind of they saw as issues that were brought to them and what they're going to try and do to address it. I will, say again, they had over 7,000 attendees at this cosplay at this Anime Nebraskon, and a lot goes on. And when you pack in a tight schedule like that, it was kind of hard for people to get from point A to point B. If something's ending at 10:30 and they're supposed to be somewhere at 10:35, it's hard. So that's scheduling stuff that they have to figure out, growing pains. But if you're checking this out, or you had a bad experience there, or maybe you have some feedback, please give it to the team. I found that they're nothing but helpful, want the feedback, and they always try to grow and improve things. This will be, I forget what count of the Anime Nebraskans I've been to here, but it's been going on for several years, and they've grown into different venues and everything like that. And these challenges have kind of always been there, and there's new ones every time that they grow. So. It's nice to see too that they're taking it seriously enough. They're taking it seriously. So I wanted to put that out there that they want that feedback, and they do take it seriously, and they're making best effort on hey, what could we have done better, and we'll figure that out. So again, thank you to the press team for allowing us to come by and grab some photos and
super job, Chris. That was fantastic.
Yeah,
really good.
I haven't.
Next year we're going to have to try and go as a group. And do a podcast.
Ryan and I would have gone this year if it hadn't been for that pesky ass COVID.
Yeah, and I talked to Becky about that, who you mentioned, And hopefully next year we'll be able to get someone on before the convention so we can kind of help hype it a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Good idea.
But yeah, so the last time I was at NebCon was with you guys when we were officially covering it a few years ago, and I think that was their last year in the Ramada.
Yes.
Or was it the year before?
That's been torn down.
Yeah, so the Ramada is gone, and they're in a completely new location.
Yep.
Like this is their second year, I want to say, at the Midwest Center.
Huh.
It's a nice place. It's too bad it's in Council Bluffs, but it's a nice place.
Barely in Council Bluffs, but yes.
Barely. Right.
Well, yeah, I think we've had conversations about why we can't have nice things like cons in Omaha.
Yeah.
We're not going to have those now.
Right. All right. Well, cool. Any last minute things, Chris?
No, again, just thanks to the press team for allowing me to get in there and check out the place. They nailed it. They nailed it. The vendor place was definitely a place to check out. It's definitely one of the highlights there. But there's panels, and to your question earlier, Bill, there's something for pretty much everybody there. If you enjoy a Comic-Con, it is a different type of atmosphere a little bit, but I think you'll enjoy Anime Nebraskon, and so it's worth going. And they went from 5,000 or 6,000 people last year to 7,000 plus this year. So when you look at that, there's definitely a reason people are going, and as it continues to grow, it's awesome. It's great. It's good.
And it's nice because it's one of the few cons here in Omaha.
I know, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like our area nerds need some more love.
It does.
And they do. Actually, they do have swag. So if you're there, buy their stuff.
Oh, nice.
They've got stuff to buy, not just art. But
Linda will tell you the one thing we really need is more backpacks here.
I've got like 40, so
Yeah, right.
It's a thing, Linda.
Yeah,
Can't explain
it is, Linda. All right.
So you're saying Adelina needs to come raid your closet for her first backpack. So got it.
Please
yes,
do.
Definitely.
Any of ours, please.
I think she can have one of those little droid deep.
Wrong.
Be a good size for her.
Wrong. Okay. Cool. Well, thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Thank you all for tuning in and listening. Hope you'll check out Anime Nebraska next year if you weren't able to make it this year. And if you did make it this year, let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Other than that, we will let you all go, and we will catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye, folks.
Bye. Oh, my God.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Galactic Driftwood Podcast. For more information and past episodes, please visit our website at galacticdriftwood.space or subscribe to us on YouTube. And now, please deactivate your cranial downlinks, collect your towels, and be sure to watch your step as you exit our gravity well.